Hello everyone, and welcome. I am in fact not dead, and after actually more than 1 month absence, I'm finally back to doing things. And I've been kind of festering over this idea of playing NASCAR The Game 2013 for about 2 months now, actually, since the last couple editions of Season 3. And I want to thank Closed Captions Available for giving me the initial recommendation. Lately, I've been starting to notice this game kind of getting popular among NASCAR YouTubers for some reason. I haven't really been watching them, I have to admit, but I've been getting recommended quite a few of them. So I figure I might as well throw my hat in the ring and see what comes of it. I got a bit of a story to tell. First of all, about my absence and then about this game. But my absence was Season 3 of the Mock Series. Probably my greatest project I've ever worked on YouTube. It took about 16 months in total. Very rewarding, but also very difficult. So I decided it was fair to take about 2 weeks off after the conclusion of Season 3 to kind of focus on the future projects I'm going to be working on and to just kind of clear my mind of what all I worked on over the previous 16 months. Long story short, the 2 weeks were over of the scheduled break that I wanted for myself. I was going to go record this game, beginning this Let's Play that you're going to be seeing here today. And that was when I figured out that I had caught COVID. So that robbed me of about 2 or 3 weeks. In fact, if I sound congested, that's why, is because the symptoms are persisting. So if I'm talking kind of quieter than normal, that's why, because I'm attempting not to cough. So I apologize for that. Fortunately, the symptoms were not all that severe, more or less just a minor cold, but just a long and annoying one. But now, after all that crap and about 34, 35 days absence, I'm finally back. And I do want to thank everyone who's been watching the show, because in my absence, we have gained more than 23 subscribers, so that's very well appreciated. Obviously, Mock Series stuff for Season 4 is still being worked on. The COVID and everything kind of delayed that, but it'll be coming out within the next couple months. Season 1 began middle of July, so I'm not really worried about timing. Point being, coming back, and I'm hoping to have some fun with NASCAR The Game 2013. Now on to my story about my past experience with this. I actually bought this game back in 2013 when it came out for, the PC. And, well, at the time, the PC that I had was not very capable of running the game. By the time I had a computer that was capable of running it, it was many, many years in the future after this game was topical. But now that it's been making a resurgence over the last, month or so that I've been sick, let's say, I've actually been able to get some playtime of this game and figure out what it was about, because I never really got the experience 9 years ago when I bought it. I knew what it was about in general principle because I had played Inside Line and 14 and 15 on the PS3. However, I didn't know about all the glitches and the little things that make this game charming. There's a difference between a crap game that's crap, like Crazy Bus or NASCAR 21 Ignition. Those games are crap for the sake of crap. But games like Skate 3 and NASCAR The Game 2013 are terrible but have charm in their glitches and faults that are actually funny instead of just annoying and genuinely meaningless.
And you still made the top 10. Good work, pal. You just need to go a little easier out there in the future.
This game is terrible in certain regards, such as game-breaking glitches and crashes that, when you come down pit road Atlanta, the game just shuts off. But the way it does it is funny. Point being, this game is by no means perfect, and after almost 10 years of setting in my Steam library, I kind of understand why I didn't touch it for so many years, but it is good enough to play and actually have fun with it. The NASCAR Heat games produced were just so mediocre that there was nothing to talk about. NASCAR 21 Ignition is outright terrible. This game, it's a decent enough handling model to be rewarding once you get it right, and the glitches are genuinely funny enough to keep me laughing. So nothing better to cure the COVID blues other than a season mode in NASCAR The Game 2013. I'm not going to do career mode simply because I don't feel like investing that much time in developing a whole program in a game that isn't exactly what we would call fantastic. That'll be saved for a NASCAR Thunder title that I could do down the road. But this game is best designed for taking in one single season of ridiculous gameplay. And I should mention I'm playing this on a controller, unlike my typical setup with the Thrustmaster T150. This is just a PlayStation 3 controller that I have all my experience playing Inside Line and 14-15 on. But we're going to begin a full 36 race season in NASCAR The Game 2013 with none other than Robby Gordon. And there's a strategy behind this. There's two stupid drivers they added to this game. One being Travis Pastrana, who's never driven a Cup Series race or attempted one. The other one being Robby Gordon. I'm going with Robby Gordon for the simple reason of he's Robby Gordon and resembles my driving style probably the most of anyone. Number two being the fact that his team had already shut down when this game came out. Number three being that his number was 7 and they changed the number to 07. And number 4 being that he's driving the wrong manufacturer. As you can see by his fire suit there, his team campaigned Dodges in their final season. But from 2012 to 2013, the Dodge got phased out because they left the sport of NASCAR. All the Dodge teams switched to Ford, that being the one Dodge team that was still left of Penske. But the developers of this game put Robby Gordon in a Ford. So his pit crew, his fire suit and game, say Dodge. He's driving a Ford for a race team that was already closed, and Robby had moved on to starting his own Stadium Super Truck team. So I guess in this timeline, we're assuming, based on probably the performance I'm going to get out of this car, that Robby Gordon, instead of forming Stadium Super Trucks, put all of his money directly into the NASCAR program, trying to rebuild it from the ground up into a championship-winning organization, assuming with the help of Roger Penske switching back to Ford. So Robby Gordon's the driver we're going to go with. We're going to be heading straight to Daytona for qualifying and the duel race. All right, so here's what we're going to be going with for the whole season. I don't need any practice time because I've spent the last month screwing around with this game, so I've got practice as to what to expect. And I've played NASCAR 14, 15, and Inside Line countless amount of hours. So race length, we're going to do 20% the whole season. Tire wear fuel use ×2. Full rules, which I'm going to hate at Watkins Glen. And damage and failures are at full. So let's go with that.
The Daytona Duels decide the qualifying field for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500.
Forgot that Ray Evernham talked in this game, but that's his thoughts about the purpose of the Daytona Duels. Let's jump into the setup of what we're going to be running. So I just put in the preset qualifying setup for Daytona, and then I'm going to edit it in front of your eyes to increase starting pressures to reduce rolling resistance. And so that's all I had to do to this setup. We're going to jump straight into single car qualifications.
The fastest 2 qualifiers in qualifying earn the front 2 spots on the grid at the Daytona 500. The other qualifying times determine the starting lineup for the duels.
And that is correct. Essentially, we're heading off into the funnest qualifying and starting grid determining format that NASCAR had at the time with the dual races to set the starting grid for the Daytona 500. Now, a bit of strategy in qualifying for Daytona. Make your outlap as long as possible. In fact, I even throw away the first lap, to be entirely honest with you. I don't see any purpose in running your first lap for a time. So we're just going to try and wind this thing out and see what the best lap we can get is. I'm not expecting that much because it's super speedway qualifying. And I'm doing this on a controller, so it's not like I can hold that steady on a joystick.
That's going to be your target.
Hard to hold a steady line mid-corner on a joystick. Going to be saying that a lot. So that's the throwaway lap. Going to cut down to the bottom, see what we can put up for a fast time.
Okay, give me one more good lap. Come on, push it.
Messed up a little bit there. And again. Gonna run the whole back straightaway underneath the yellow line. It is encouraging that I didn't qualify last on my first lap, I have to say. And make the track as absolutely short as possible. And 17th, that is actually pretty solid for a single car qualifying run at a super speedway. All I wanted to do was make sure there was some cars behind me.
Good, strong performance, pal. You're in the front half of the pack.
Good enough. I wanted to make sure there was some cars behind me so that I don't immediately lose the draft in the dual race, because I want to start up front in the 500 so I can just control the lanes and get away with essentially running a really high tape setup. So it has good straight line speed, but it'll overheat in the pack. So that's my strategy for this, is stay out in front. But of course, Dale Jr. starts on the pole for the Daytona 500. Tony Stewart in second. The rest of the spots are up for grabs.
I want to make sure you're happy with the setup before the race. So go run some laps for me and see if you're happy with the car.
All right, here we go. Let's jump into the dual race at Daytona.
It's time to set the starting lineup for the Daytona 500 with a pair of 150-mile qualifying races. The Duel at Daytona. I'm Mike Joy with Darrell Waltrip.
Mike, these races are fun because the driver has one responsibility. Don't wreck the car. Go out there, get some information, kind of prepare for the Daytona 500. So go out there, drive smart, and oh, by the way, try to win.
This is the opportunity these teams have been working on all winter. It's time to go earn a spot in the Daytona 500 or load up and go home.
I do like how this game has intros from the Fox Sports broadcast booth, minus Larry McReynolds. But here we go. Qualifying duels at Daytona. I got less cars in front of me than I do behind me. That's a good situation to be in. Already clear of Edwards. Now time for a lot of pack manipulation. Oh, this thing's got a good restart gear. Either that or everybody got bogged down on the start. Regardless, clear of Kenseth. All right, gonna have to quickly find a drafting partner. Biffle looks like my man down the back straightaway. Gotta get this inside line moving. In fact, I think it's backing up now that I'm pushing Biffle. Clipped the apron there and nearly killed the field. Already up to third. Racing with Ambrose like Montreal 2007.
And I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, you know.
Well, that was extremely stupid. Definitely my fault, but regardless. All right, I have to draft with Travis Pastrana. That sounds like a horrible idea, but it's the circumstance I've been dealt. Now I'm going with Kenseth. I have to get down to the bottom. That's what I have to prioritize at this point. Oh, God. Danica has opened up the inside line for me. Still loose. It's not going to help with Edwards wanting to push me. All right.
Keep it low.
Keselowski backing up to us.
Got one working the top.
Danica working with Biffle.
One outside. Nice job, dude.
Oh,
Very nice.
this thing is ungodly loose. I think it's because of the massive amount of damage I caused to the front. But here we go. Big run on Biffle. 200 miles an hour to the lead
Way to take first, man.
at Daytona.
Keep that momentum. Right side's clear.
Mark Martin now to second. This is going to require some mad blocking.
Car tucked in behind you.
And probably a lot of focus.
Come on, man. Make it count.
Here comes inside line moving with Junior and Danica. Imagine if, by the way, the Super Speedway package in 2013 was this good. That, you know, lines could work, moves could be made. Travis Pastrana trying to go for third. Dale Jr. pushing me off into turn 3.
On your bumper.
Ungodly loose.
Got a car behind.
You can tell Dale Jr.'s got a really good piece. Qualified on pole for the 500.
Car in line with
He's
you.
rolling good momentum right now with Mark Martin. And I just put him 3 wide up on the outside, and I think kicked him to the back.
Watch him here. He's
Which in a way is a good thing in pack racing, to kick out the faster cars. Now Kenseth wanting to push. We can kind of tandem for a little bit, at least half a straightaway. Get some separation on the field. Clipping that apron. more or less what I'm trying to do right now is obviously defend every single lane, but also I'm trying to make this pack that I'm running in a lot smaller. And Edwards down the inside as I wander myself up into the outside wall. McMurray, they're doing 4 wide, I think, behind me. Looking like they're destined to wreck, but yet still won't. All right, Edwards is going to have the real head of steam right down the back stretch. Down to the inside, then back up to the outside. Then I'm going to have to block McMurray.
He's charging.
They get some good runs. The suck force of these Gen 6 cars has been magnified from reality.
Halfway home, buddy.
Especially 2013 Gen 6 cars. Here comes McMurray. Again, weeble wobbling his way down the front stretch. We have gapped the field at this point. If you just heard a loud crunching noise, that's the cough drop I'm using so that I don't continuously cough into this microphone. Why are we gapping? Doing this weeble wobble swerving thing.
Behind you.
We were actually building a run by Mark Martin, swerving back and forth down the back straightaway. Now that whole line died, and Carl Edwards is the one with the run. Down to 5 laps to go. Edwards inside, outside, top side. Look at this gap that we have managed to build on Mark Martin and Danica Patrick. It's massive. About 1 second in the post-tandem era. And now it just left Edwards by himself. All right, so now I'm going to have to treat this like qualifying laps. Essentially just paint the yellow line while the whole field tries to regroup. Because we're not really committed to this whole pack racing thing. But you see, there was a strategy, by the way, to running 100% tape. Is because out in front by myself, blocking every single line, the engine hasn't gotten any hotter than about 195. So, the strategy's working. I can tell the pack's getting a bit of a run, but they can't get concentrated enough to really work that momentum forward. I'm starting to get something going on with Danica up on the outside line, Truex down the bottom.
Ready to go.
MWR cars can't figure out how to get in line together. And Danica and, wait a minute, Robby Gordon and Danica are leading this duel. Mark Martin at least now fixing that and taking over second, but wow. This season's already started on the right foot. Now here comes the MWR cars. They've started to work together. Truex and Mark Martin. Now they're not working together. Truex wants it himself. And you see, the pack has wasted like 3 laps, about half a second behind me without even closing, because I'm not giving them any draft. See, I'm just holding down to the bottom. They can't do anything. Phenomenal. Now they're going to start to get a run about here because within 3/10, so they're going to start sniffing the draft. See right there, Truex within a 10th. Now we're back in the pack.
On your rear.
So 2 laps of serious blocking
Looking outside. He's looking to draft behind you.
where Truex is, I guess, just going to shove me by everybody while Dale Jr. just gets left by himself. Which is not how that would actually work if he was in the lead draft. I think everybody would have followed him. That was a big shove out of Truex right there. Got me going about 198 down the back stretch. This whole field is strung out at this point. Look at some of the folk at the back. White flag.
Come on, pick your lane, buddy. This is it.
Edwards sets second, McMurray third. This is the battle for 3rd place in the Daytona 500 starting grid. And the pack has died again. Look at it. No one wants to draft off one another. Truex to the inside of Carl Edwards there, getting the push from Greg Biffle. They're actually trying to tandem this. They might even get up to my back bumper coming to the checkered flag here, but not good enough.
Car
Yeah, so this race has been stupid. Truex wants to push me to the line instead of try to win. And that's a dual race win right there.
Great job, man. Great job.
The pack decided to destroy itself and just fell apart.
That was awesome, buddy. You just earned a place on the front row for the Great American Race.
That's not how that works. I earned third in the Daytona 500. I did not earn a spot in the front row. But anyway, here's the results. Obviously won Truex second, Biffle third, Edwards fourth, McMurray fifth, Danica sixth, Mark Martin seventh, Dale Jr. fell down to eighth, Clinton Boyer ninth, and Matt Kenseth round out the top 10. No real severe upsets, but the funny thing is Jimmy Johnson finishing behind Scott Speed and Travis Pastrana. Just as a reminder, absolutely destroyed the front straightaway wall in this race, chopping off Marcus Ambrose, and still went on to win it. So I guess we are really beginning the season in true Robby Gordon fashion. And so that marks the duel at Daytona. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's first edition of the NASCAR The Game 2013 Robby Gordon season. Next video will be the Daytona 500, the Great American Race. 40 laps at Daytona should be about at least a 40-some-odd minute video. So that's why I'm splitting this up into dual race and then the Daytona 500, because the 500 probably should be a bit of a long video itself. So anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this beginning of a brand new Let's Play. Obviously, you know, NR 2003 content coming within the next few months, but I hope that you'll enjoy this bit of a return to gaming content that I'm going to be doing lately. It is fun to play, you know, especially a game like NASCAR The Game 2013. It has charm in its faults rather than just is terrible like, you know, NASCAR 21 Ignition is. So this game, hopefully it'll present some weird and unique challenges over the course of the 36 race season. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and be on the watch out for the next video.